Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes, everyone raise your hand and say good morning. Woo! Oh man, this is a great day to be alive and great day to be here. Everyone say hallelujah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh, let's all stand and let's sing a wonderful song. I am opening up in sweet surrender. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up to sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, oh, I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up to sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, I am opening. Yeah. Woo. Hey, good morning.
Andy Anderson in the house. By the way, that piano got tuned. Our new piano, Corey's family gave us, and we just have to turn it around so we can see Andy when he plays. Next time, huh,
Yes,
Andy?
yes.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. The ship is listing. Everybody's starboard. But I love you no matter which side you're sitting on. That's metaphoric, isn't it? Welcome to Unity of Medford in partnership with Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley. I'm Kimberly Hawkins, Senior Minister here. It is my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you each Sunday, no matter where you may happen to be on your own personal spiritual journey. I like to say we are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive faith community, and we teach tools to both transform personal lives and help make a world that works for everybody. If anybody's here for the very first time, we'd love to just welcome you. Anybody a first timer? Well, welcome, welcome. Let's give them a little love. Glad you found us, and if you haven't already received a welcome packet, put your hand up if you would again, and Joy will make sure you get one. Great, awesome, thank you. All right, so a few introductions here are in order. Andy Anderson, Reverend Andy Anderson, is our musician this morning. It's always great to have Andy here. On the pulpit with me this morning doing the invocation and reading will be Reverend Laura Stewart, and Reverend Bonnie Anderson, related to this guy, as you might imagine, did our meditation this morning. She's sitting high watch. She's praying for the highest and best good for everybody here and everybody watching online. Welcome to those watching online. If you would please put your name in the chat, maybe where you're from, that would be wonderful, so you can communicate with each other as well. Let's see, if you have not already done so, please turn your cell phones off or in airplane mode. I'm going to turn it over to Andy in just a second to prepare us for our invocation and reading, and a reminder to please hold your applause after this particular song. Thank you.
I forget sometimes I know how to love, release, and let go. I get confused, can't see clear, don't know how. I sometimes lose my way. But then I open up my eyes and let the love inside begin to shine. That's when I recover, I rediscover, I find myself. I'm alive, with the Spirit flowing through me now. I know I am love, I am joy, I am peace, I am beautiful, I am healed. And oh, when I know the power of my word that makes it so. I recover, I rediscover, I find myself. There's only one life, that life is divine, and that's me. Oh, when I wake up to what's beautiful, I allow myself to be free, and oh, I can see clearly now. All the joy and the beauty of life is mine. If I just believe, if I just believe, oh, Spirit is all there is. Oh, Spirit is all there is. Oh, don't you know that Spirit is all there is? Yeah, Spirit is all there is. Oh, Spirit is all there is. Trust the universe and know Spirit is all there is. Yeah, Spirit is all there is. Oh, let it be in me as me. I claim my happiness. I am free. And I recover, I rediscover, and then I know, I found myself. Ooh, yeah. Oh. Namaste.
Spirit truly is all there is. It is that one power and that one presence, that one infinite intelligence that is moving in, through, and as each and every one of us right here and right now and forever. I'd like to acknowledge all those that came before us, who made this one moment in time, this service possible, starting with the indigenous people of the valley, followed by our beloved Unity of Medford community, who through their creativity, imagination, and hard work developed the foundation which our community right now has been built upon. They created this amazing building that we occupy. Their creativity came forth as stained glass windows, the structure, the roof above us that gives us shelter each and every Sunday morning, that offers us a place to come together and meet as a community. For none of this right now would have been possible without them. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that right now. So I thank you. Today's reading comes from Today's reading comes from Daily Word. October 10th. And the topic is guidance. I welcome divine guidance. Remembering times when I chose an unlikely path, followed by a far-fetched dream, or went out on a limb, I can see the role divine guidance played in my life. This guidance, the whisper of God within me, can feel downright implausible. I may wonder, how could I possibly do that? Yet I go forth to do what seems to be impossible. For what I know to be true beyond a shadow of a doubt is that absolutely everything is possible through the power of God within me and within you, without exception. Having faith means trusting God. Relying upon divine guidance means trusting myself. The direction I feel deep within, the ideas, the nudges of intuition, the serendipitous happenings come from my still, small voice within. The presence of God in, through, and as me. Knowing this, I never need to fear or doubt the guidance that I receive, for it is unfailing. I trust God and I believe in myself. From Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 to 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own insight. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. And so it is.
So it is. There's only one life. That life is my life. That life is wonderful. That life is my life now. Oh, my life now. Yeah. I look all around me. It's all I see. The beauty of life in me, giving itself as me. Oh, as me. Yeah. I see the flowers and the trees, same beauty living in me. Everywhere I go, everything I do, everything I see, a reflection of me. Oh, as me. Yeah. The river of life is flowing. The same river is rolling. Everywhere I go, everything I do, everything I see, a reflection of me. Oh, as me. There's only one life. That life is my life. That life is a wonderful, and life is my life now. Oh, right now. That life is wonderful. That life is beautiful. That life is my life. That life is right now. It's all I am. Yeah. da 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 da. There's only one life. That life is my life. That life is my life now.
Thank you, Andy Anderson. One life, you know, we pray about that, we sing about it a lot. There's only one life, and it's my life. It's God's life, and it's my life. But today, I'd like to talk about some evidence that that's truly true. And it's nice to say that, right? It's nice to think that, but I'd like to really feel it and know it. So I'm going to start with a story, true story. Maybe some of you have heard this. It involves a man in South Africa named Anthony Lawrence. He and his wife purchased a game reserve, and they heard about a herd of elephants that was causing a lot of trouble. They had been traumatized, and they were killing people and destroying property, and people wanted to slaughter them to get rid of them. And he took compassion on them. He brought them to his game preserve, fenced them in. Well, first, he went and lived with them. For about 3 weeks, he had to gain their trust. So he went and camped with them. And at least once he almost got trampled. I mean, it was not a very easy transition. But after about 3 weeks, they did trust him. The matriarch, elephants are matriarchal, I didn't realize that, but the matriarch, who he later dubbed Nana, reached over the fence with her trunk and touched his head. And that's when he knew that he had made progress. So he brought them to the game preserve, and I'm gonna, if you have the picture of him and his baby elephant up, this is Anthony and one of his elephants. He brought them to the game preserve. They escaped initially and wandered off again, and a lot of people in the area and people outside the area went after them. They wanted to hunt them down. He brought them back again. And slowly, he and the elephants learned to live together in unison. Now, there's another picture of him. Yeah, I don't know if that's Nana, but that's Anthony with one of his elephants. Now, this was in 1999 that he bought the game preserve. In 2012, Anthony died of a heart attack suddenly. And 2 days later, the 9 elephants who had been living, well, they hadn't been to the house in about 1.5 years, and they were 2 days' journey away. They appeared at his house, along with some other elephants in a different herd. There were 21 of them altogether, and they held vigil for 2 days at his home. His wife was astounded. At times, they were making noises that they were upset, as if they were mourning, and elephants do that. So that the title of my message this morning, I forgot to share with you, is Elephants Never Forget. We've heard that expression, right? I don't know where it comes from, but it's true that they have good memories. Now, the even more amazing part to this true story is that every year for 4 years thereafter, these elephants reappeared on the date of his death at his home. Now, that's the stuff of which science fiction is sometimes made, yes? And I, hearing this story, thought, oh my gosh, that's proof that there's one life. It's my life, it's the elephant's life, it's all of our lives. We are interconnected in ways that we don't even understand yet. That's just one of several stories I'll share with you today. Another is about pets. How many of you have cats or dogs that seem to know exactly when you're coming home? Vivian and I live with 2 cats, Leo and Lucita, and almost always when we walk from the garage into the laundry room, they're both sitting there waiting for us. Now, I know they haven't sat there all day, right? And so I've thought, well, maybe they hear the garage door open, or maybe they I lost my train of thought. Hang on. Maybe they hear the garage door open. Maybe they hear the car. Maybe they know which car, you know. But here's the deal. Scientists have done studies on this. Controlled, scientifically valid studies where they've taken owners of pets miles away and they randomly generate a message for them to come home, and the pet owner receives a text. What they found was a dog who, at the very moment that the owner gets the message that they're going to come home and they intend to come home, the dog goes to the door or the window in some cases. There have been a couple times when, in the meantime, maybe the owner got a call to come back into work and they had to go back into work, or they got a flat tire. What happened was the dog went to the door, but as soon as the person decided they needed not to go home, the dog lost interest and wandered away. Now, you know, I guess the studies have shown that about 30% of cats and 50% of dogs have this habit, this ability. So I said to Viv this morning, our cats are among the smartest cats. But it's really sweet, isn't it, that connection? There's so many more stories, but I like to think that they confirm this idea of oneness. Oneness is one of the main principles that we teach both in Unity and Science of Mind, that there's one God, one life, we're all part of it, that we're not separate. In John 14:20, Jesus said, I'm sure you've heard this, I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. In other words, we're all one. In 1 Corinthians 3:16, Paul wrote, do you not know that you are God's temple and that God's Spirit dwells in you? We often teach we are individualized expressions of that one life. So it isn't just, what did Reverend Laura Stewart said, it's not just a bumper sticker that we are one. When we were in ministerial school, we used to talk about there's one mind and we all have access. And what is it Laura says? Oh, when Reverend Laura went in to take her capstone exams, the final step in becoming a minister, well, not one of the final steps, she used to use as a mantra, everything is available to me, all knowledge is available to me through the one mind that lives in me. And that's all well and good. Like, it's a mantra, it's a bumper sticker, but you know, I don't know, I'm beginning to grok that it's real, that this is reality with a capital R. I've often talked about some of the quantum physics experiments, and briefly, I'll share again my two favorites that prove this. I mean, scientists are beginning to realize this. Scientists who for years believed in a materialist paradigm of the world. In other words, matter creates consciousness. We have these brains, and it's the brains that create consciousness. And now they're realizing it's the opposite. Consciousness is the ground of all being. It's the foundation of everything. It's everywhere. It's eternal. It doesn't go away. So even hard-nosed scientists, and I'll tell you about one in a few moments. So the two experiments that I really love, one was about electrons or protons. Let me get this right. Two photons that were taken or escaped from the same atom, and they're oriented in the same way. One was moved miles and miles away across the other side of the planet. When one proton turns a certain way, the other immediately at the same time does the same thing. They are connected. They are entangled. They are one, right? And the same thing was evident in an experiment that I found just amazing. I think it was 1993 at the University of Mexico. A scientist encouraged two meditators to meditate together for about 20 minutes, and they meditated on the idea that they could communicate with each other. They put them both in Faraday cages. These are electromagnetically sealed, impervious chambers that no signal can get through. And they hooked them both up to EEG machines, electroencephalogram machines. And they showed one of the subjects a light. And then they registered, the EEG machine can register the light flash in their brain. The other person immediately at the same time had the light flash in their brain, even though they couldn't see it. This proves that there is signal-less communication. There's no way an electromagnetic signal could have gotten through those two cages, right? Okay, so fast forward a bit with all of this in mind. I've been listening to a podcast that I highly, highly recommend. Anybody ever heard the telepathy tapes? Ah, a bunch of you, all right. It's really blowing my mind. I access it through Spotify. And there's so much in there, but the gist of it is that autistic non-speakers, children, can communicate with each other. They can read their parents' minds. There's incredible gifts in these kids who oftentimes the parents were told they're not in there, they're not conscious, they can't learn. Several weeks ago, maybe months ago, remember I did a talk on neurodiversity, and we talked about children who've been written off, who later, I can't remember her name right now, you'll know it when I think of it. She got a PhD. I mean, Temple Grandin, thank you. So I'm sort of overwhelmed with all this information. It's a long podcast. There are many episodes. I thought what I would do is share with you a couple specific stories. So we'll start with a young man named Houston who lived with his mom in Atlanta, Georgia. He was one of 5 children, and when he was about 10 months old, he was diagnosed as autistic, and he did not speak until he was 17 years old. His mom held out hope forever and ever and ever that they'd be able to communicate and that he would be able to learn, but it really got to the point where she had lost hope. When he was 17 years old, she was sitting on her bed one day, and he walked in and tugged at the blanket next to her as if to get her attention, looked her in the eyes, which she said he had never done, and he said, "Hi, Mama, I love you." She was blown away, got hope back, and began to talk with other parents of autistic kids and realized that some of them had been taught to spell. So they don't have great control over their motor skills, at least Houston did not, could not speak, but they teach them to spell using a letterboard or later on an iPad or a tablet, right? So it took a long time for her to teach her son to use the board, but he did learn. And in the end, he was 21 years old. The first time he spelled out for her a whole sentence, he said to her through the spell board, "I am in here." And that started a journey of communication. Well, when they started really to communicate, he also told her that he could read her mind. And she was a complete skeptic. She did not believe him. She said, "Yeah, right?" And so he proved it to her because she asked a question in her head, and he answered her through the spell board without ever having heard her speak. What ensued eventually were little ways that he proved himself to the family, where they'd think of a word and write it down, where he couldn't see it, and he would spell out the word. It was incredible, and eventually they learned that he knew a lot. He had a lot of knowledge. He knew how to read. He knew historical facts. He knew a lot about spirituality, and they're like, he was never educated. The educational system gave up on him because his behaviors were bizarre, for one. He couldn't control his physical movements. He couldn't speak. And what he told her was that he spoke is not the right word. He communicated with other autistic young people around the country and even around the world. They went to this place called the Hill, and they taught each other things. Yeah. And so scientists got involved here because, this is kind of woo-woo, right? I mean, maybe not so much for us, maybe, but scientists got involved. And they did tests with this young man, Houston, and with other people. By the way, Katie, Houston's mom, heard from another mom. They lived in Atlanta, Katie and Houston. She heard from another mom in Utah whose son spelled out for her, "Houston is my best friend," 9-year-old. They had met on the Hill. I hope you don't think I'm crazy. I know those of you who listen to the tapes don't. So for those of you who are skeptics, or for any of us who, okay, is this real or is this made up? Is this a fake thing? Some of you will know the name of Dr. Rupert Sheldrake. He is a very highly respected biologist from Cambridge University in England, who admits that he was a materialist, diehard materialist for years. He did not believe consciousness was the ground of all being. He believed it came from the brain, and that was it. And there was a hierarchy to the way things work. Until one day, in the tea room at Cambridge University, he heard a professor that he highly respected. His name was Sir Rudolph Peters. Sir Rudolph Peters had been knighted by the Queen for his incredible contributions to the field of science. And Rudolph Peters was talking about a disabled child who could see through his mother's eyes. And they proceeded to go and do experiments with this child. So they're sitting in the ophthalmologist's office, and there's an eye chart. This is how the whole thing started. The kid could read the eye chart. He was blind. And what they discovered was, as long as the mother was in the room and she could see the eye chart, he could read it perfectly. If they took him out of the room and she was still in the room and could read the eye chart, he could read it perfectly. If they had him in the room and took the mother out of the room and she could not see the eye chart, he couldn't do it. So when Sheldrake heard about this, he had a complete turnaround and he began to do research, a lot of research. So there's all these studies where they present these kids with all kinds of things, randomly selecting sections out of a book, and the child can say them. And all the other gifts that these kids appear to have that we just didn't know about. There was one young man named Asher, and by the way, there are girls and boys. I just happened to have chosen 2 boys. Asher, when he was in his 20s, decided he didn't want to speak anymore. He did have some verbal ability, but it was so much more efficient to communicate telepathically. One of his mentors learned to communicate with him. By the way, this happens a lot, apparently, with teachers who teach children with autism. The kids teach them to telepathically communicate. And a lot of times what they'll say is, go into your heart. Isn't that beautiful? Go into your heart, which of course is the chakra that connects the higher realms with the physical realm. Asher one day was with his mentor, and they were communicating telepathically, and the mentor was concerned about a friend who was having terrible headaches, and they couldn't figure out what it was. Asher gave her telepathically the word myelin. She didn't know what it meant. And then he gave her an image. It was like an electric cord with a covering that was like messed up, shredded. And when she looked up myelin sheaths, she realized that was the problem. The person who was having headaches had a problem with myelin sheath. So these children are oftentimes they're medical intuitives. They have the ability of precognition. One young girl, can't remember the name, spelled out for her mother, she was completely nonverbal, that she had gotten a message that there was going to be a shooting at a school in the South. 3 days later, one of those shootings happened. It came true. So there's an amazing amount of stuff. One little girl learned so much. She said at night she spoke to God. They spoke to people on the other side, family members that they had never met but knew the names and could come forth with information about them that they could not have possibly known. But again and again and again in these telepathy tapes, you're going to hear about, if you listen, scientifically controlled experiments where there's no way the person could have seen or heard what was going on, and 100% accuracy. They'll produce the word, the thought. One study was with pictures, and I believe this was with Houston. They had a random picture generator, and they would show his mom the picture, and then he would spell out what it was. One picture was a taxi cab with the taxi driver with his head out the window and a guy that appeared to be hailing the cab. And what Houston spelled out was something like, it wasn't what he saw exactly, it was, whoa, he better be careful sticking his head out the window. So he interpreted it. So let's go back for a moment. to what we teach and what we know. And maybe I know in an even deeper way than I did several weeks ago. Jesus prayed that all might come to see the unity of life. His prayer to those closest to him near the end of his life was this, that they may be one, even as we are one. He wanted his disciples to realize their oneness with their Creator and also with all of creation. We know that the mystics all sensed this and taught this, right? Our founder of Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, wrote this: "The unity of good is a revelation of the greatest importance, for it teaches us that we are one with the whole and one with each other. The fatherhood of God and the actual brotherhood of man will be made apparent on earth to the degree that man realizes this unity." I believe the implications for our realizing this unity are huge. The implications for us listening to these kids with these amazing spiritual gifts are huge. Spelling with those, with a machine or whatever has been very controversial. Many schools have not taught it. They have fired teachers who believe that these kids were actually, coherent and able to learn. So it's an uphill fight. But I'm convinced by listening to these scientifically controlled experiments that this is real. We pray often, God is all. You'll hear our ministers and practitioners in the first step of treatment recognizing God. God is all. There's one power, one intelligence, one consciousness, one life, Andy, right? In the universe, only one presence. Ernest Holmes, again and again and again in his textbook, says things like there's one infinite mind, and we are one with that infinite mind. Well, if truly that mind is infinite, it's everywhere, right? And it is the divine mind within Reverend Laura that guided her when she did those exams. It is that divine mind within each of us that can guide us. And wow, wouldn't it be amazing if we really could? There's some drawbacks to a situation where you can read your mother's mind. Because this guy was doing this from the time he was a tiny, tiny tot. He said he didn't remember a time, this is Houston, when he couldn't read his mom's mind. And his mother realized, because she had 5 children and had been married to a very abusive husband who she said was just hurtful and mean and actually had abused in a very, very violent way one of the children. She didn't know about this till Houston told her, because at the time he was reading the father's thoughts and the other person's thoughts, and he was feeling helpless because he hadn't any way to communicate at that point. Can you imagine what that would be like? He wanted to stop it, he wanted to be the hero, and he couldn't. But I think that the implications on the good side of the scale are amazing, are simply amazing. So I encourage you to, if you haven't already done so, listen to the Telepathy Tapes podcast. The host is a woman named Kai Dickens. It's on Spotify for one, I don't know where else, and there is a website, telepathytapes.com. Is it on YouTube? Okay, great. I figured it might be, but I didn't check that out. Another thing that I want to mention before I wrap this up is Asher, this young man I told you about who taught, his mentor became his student, and he taught her to communicate telepathically. There was a book she was trying to read to understand this whole phenomenon, and she was having trouble understanding it. And she told him that she was having trouble understanding it. He said, "Bring me the book." He put his hand on the book for about, I think it was less than a minute, and turned to her and gave her a beautiful, clear summary of the book. This is mind-blowing stuff, and it has implications that I think are absolutely amazing. So from my little kitty that meets me at the door to somebody who can predict and somebody who can talk to people who have passed and people who are just so bright. I'm overwhelmed. I'm reading now a book by Suzanne Giesemann. Anybody heard of her? She was a naval officer for years for a career and very left-brained as a result. And when her stepdaughter and her unborn child died. She too was in the military, and she was walking across an airfield, and this lightning bolt struck her and killed her and the child. And Suzanne was despondent and began to meditate and meditate and meditate and developed the ability to communicate with her. And that's another book with amazing stories and more to be revealed next month. The book is called The Awakened Way, Making the Shift to a Divinely Guided Life. Beautiful, beautiful book. So my friends, guess what? God is all there is. There's one life. That life is my life now. It's more than a bumper sticker. Yeah, we are truly one. We are truly one. So let's go into prayer. It feels odd to say these words now, but there is one life, one consciousness, one ground of all being, one source, one presence, one intelligence. It is everywhere. It's infinite. And if it's everywhere and infinite, it's within me, it's within you, it's within each one on the planet. And if that's true, then we're one with each other as well as with it. Just as the sages, the mystics, the master teacher Jesus, so many. Thich Nhat Hanh, who says we are interbeing, we inter-are. There's not just one of us here. Oh, rather, there's not more than one. There is just one, never two. And so if we take this to heart and think about how this might apply to our lives, that our thoughts become things, that our thoughts are communicated to others, that it is so important that we learn spiritual truth, that we practice spiritual truth, that we meditate, that we listen, that we have compassion for ourselves and others. That love that is the truth between us, as evidenced by those elephants who came and stood vigil at the person who had saved their lives without anyone ever telling him he had died and came back year after year. May we show the same devotion, the same love, the same compassion, the same reverence for one another. If we really let these truths in, how might it change our personal lives? How might it change our social lives? How might it change our world? And if science is now proving what we've been teaching, guess what? Not a secret anymore. The word is out. And so I bless each one of us. I bless the scientists who have supported these studies, the parents who have been years and years spent believing in their kids and trying to help their kids and teaching their kids, and then to turn around and be taught by them. We're in this together. One life, one mind, one intelligence, one love. I'm so grateful for these truths. I'm so grateful for this community and this opportunity to speak truth, to learn truth. And so I just release my prayer now into the law, knowing it's heard, as all prayers are. It's answered in the mind of the divine. And I invite us to say together, so it is. Amen.
Amen. Every day I'm so grateful, thankful. Oh, it's a new day on my horizon. All that I am, all I can be, oh, is just a gratitude shining through me. Nature's gifts to me. Perfect place to be. I keep loving myself so I can see there's only beauty in you, beauty in me. Oh, let's all stand up together and let the whole world see. So grateful, I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful. is so good, precious and good. See, with every breath I take, with every step I take, it takes me higher on my path of awakening. See, through the eyes of love, there's only one of us. So let's be grateful for all that's been given us. No need to live in fear. All of life is, so come on, let's love and let the love come shining in. Smiling faces, warm embraces. Oh, let's all stand up and let the whole world know I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful every day. So thankful. Don't you know I'm grateful? I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful every day. So thankful. My life is so good, precious and good. Oh, ba 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 ah ba 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 ba. Oh, so grateful. Oh, I'm so grateful every day, every day. Oh, I'm so thankful. Oh, so grateful, so thankful, so grateful. Yes, I am.
And Andy Anderson, we are grateful for you.
Yes.
Time now for our tithes and offerings. A big thank you to everyone who continues to support us. And a reminder, if you give online, it might be nice to put a plastic Benjamin in the offering basket just as a symbol that you're giving. I'm going to do it as Will and Joy come forward. Thank you for ushering today, you two. And let's say our affirmation together, shall we? Graciously I give from a place of love, knowing that as I give, so do I richly receive.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
A few announcements. I want to thank everybody who attended Alyssa and Mitchell's concert last week. It was wonderful. A little light attendance because we'd had the big party at Rev Steph's the night before, and I know a lot of people were tired out, but it was just beautiful. So if you have the opportunity, again, do not miss them. Tomorrow, Monday, I believe men's group is meeting. Alan, yes, even though it's Labor Day at 11 a.m. On Tuesday, we do have Tai Chi at 10 and poetry as spiritual practice at 11. Again, that group is not about analyzing poetry like we did in school and some of us didn't like it. It's about reading spiritual poems and getting the glimmer for you, and it takes you deep into your own psyche, your own growth, really. It's a wonderful, wonderful group. Wednesday, Miracle Makers is meeting at 11. On Wednesday evening, I'm starting my 10-week class, Essential Earnest, here in the center, and we have a couple people joining us online. There is still time to sign up, so see me afterwards if you're interested. It's a fabulous class. Make sure you get the book, The Essential Earnest, and I emailed the workbook out to people. Reverend Laura, not next Sunday. Yes, next Sunday. Okay. Next Sunday, Reverend Laura is starting a group that's going to meet the first and third Sundays of each month. That's right. It's the first Sunday in September next week. It's called a Spiritual Living Circle, and they are going to be discussing selected articles from the Science of Mind magazine. It's a free offering. You're welcome to come as often as you want and can. And I think Laura has copies of the articles in case you don't get the magazine. Is that all I need to say, Rev Laura? Okay. What time? 9 to 9:50, so it's before our meditation. Thank you. And really quick. She's got something here. The Rev is digging something out of her case here. All right.
The article that we're reading next week starts on page 12 of September Science of Mind.
Okay. Page 12, September Science of Mind magazine is the article that they're reading for next week. So if you have a copy, electronic or otherwise, you can read it. Let's see, what else? Sandwich makers. You know, I don't know if you're aware, but twice a month we have a group of people, some of you are in here, who make sandwiches and take them over to the Presbyterian Church who feeds people that are hungry. And they're needing more sandwiches, which is interesting. There are more people in need, so they've asked us to step up our game. So Nancy Clay, and I don't think she's here today, Nancy Clay wants to increase production, perhaps by adding another team or staying later. But if you're interested in joining a group that makes sandwiches once a week, well, they're probably going to do it more than twice a month now. Please see Nancy or text her. Her numbers and email are in our weekly e-newsletter, so please let her know. I'm really proud that we're doing that. It's a good deed. And I notice I'm here on Wednesday mornings when they get together, and that group has a great time. They've become a little social group as well as feeling like they're doing, a social service. It's really sweet. We are looking for volunteers for our upcoming community potluck picnic, which is planned for Saturday, September 20th at Tuvell Park. There is a sign-up sheet in Bosworth Hall. I know Michael Sunday and Ellen Michaels are coordinating the food on that, and there'll also be a pet blessing that day. Reverend Laura is leading that up. So it's a community picnic, but if you have a pet and you want them blessed, bring the dog on a leash or a picture of your pet if you like. It's really sweet. We haven't done that in a while. On Sunday, September 28th, the last Sunday in September, I will be teaching, leading, facilitating, whatever the word is, a prospective new member class. It's a 90-minute class. We'll learn a little bit about our new thought philosophies that we teach and what membership in both CSL RV Unity means. So please sign up in Bosworth Hall so I know how many to expect. And those who decide, there's no obligation here, but those who decide they want to become an official member will be welcomed during the service the following Sunday. So that would be the first Sunday in October. Please see our weekly e-newsletter for more happenings. There's always a printed copy in the social hall if you don't have an email. And if you want to sign up for the newsletter, you can do so in Bosworth Hall. Let's see, in the back of the room, there's a prayer box, and please submit your requests. It is the pleasure of our ecclesiastical team to pray for you or anyone else you're concerned about. There's also a sign-up sheet for name tags, so if you're new and don't have an official name tag yet, sign up, and when we get eight people on the list, there'll be a name tag up for you there. Morel. Michaela does that. Morel is telling me there are 10 people on that list. I will check that out. Could be Michaela doesn't know she should check that, our new admin. Thank you, Morel, I'll check that. So if you've been waiting for your name tag, don't fear, it's coming soon. I think that's it. Let me invite any ministers or practitioners in the room to come on up. They are available for what we call a 5-minute miracle after service. If there's something heavy on your heart, let them know, and they'll pray for you, knowing truth for you. That truth with a capital T. And you all can use, as you know, my office, the living room, the back of the stage, and so on. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to end with there is one life. There truly is one life, one intelligence.
Amen.
It's God's life, and it's my life, and it's the life of each one of us here. And so it is. Let's stand if you're able for the closing song.